0 is the first number. So therefore, you would say negative 1 would be 0. So 0 is basically the first number 1 because that's where we start keeping track. Gosh. Also, the paper that I always talk about. You look that way. The paper that I always talk about, or the space that we show up on. So 0 is actually 1. And if you say this to somebody, they say, no, 0's not a number. It's like the representation of no numbers. But then you would say negative 1, negative 2. Is that the representation of more than 1 no numbers? Because negative is less than 1. Negative is less than 0. So negative couldn't be the representation of more than 1 none numbers. That doesn't make sense. If you really tried to say what numbers mean, you'd realize numbers are just so you can figure it out in your head. Numbers are below, okay? Letters, on the other hand, are east, west, and let's say east, west, and M, manifest. That's an S too. That's a direction. M is a manifest. It's a direction. Letters are directions. D is the first letter of our alphabet that starts the directions. A, B, C are the divine 3. X, Y, Z are the afterlife 3. But neither are true, because all is just life. We consider them the divine and the afterlife and all that stuff, and it's neither. They're both wonderful. They're both fun, because they're both meeting each other now. We're having DX meet, and we're having all these weird things like, and not like the Generation X, but I'm talking like in the Earth world, we're having stuff like, on Wreck-It Ralph 2, the hero becomes mass-produced into a zombie version of the hero, trying to kill the hero and the hero's person that he protects. That is a great definition of DX, where it's divine creation and it's divine destruction. And at the same time, love wins all of it. That's the whole point. We're supposed to meet each other at our hardest point, because D is where divinity comes in. X is where it's out. W is the letter before X, because 23 is the way out. What's the number 23? It's the way out. That's why Jim Carrey had some crazy experience, because he did the number 23. He played Bruce Almighty. He did stuff like that with God and spirit, and it freaked him the fuck out because it talked to him. Because his brain, by studying those things, had no choice but to give him a reality of it. And you see this, I see this, and the whole world sees it in Jim Carrey and his weirdness right now, because he had a spiritual experience from a person who thought at first he was Jim Carrey. Then he started going around saying, I'm not Jim Carrey, because I was him when I did that. I know Jim Carrey's life because me and him attached, and I left. So I could let him come out and do other stuff. Now he plays Sonic the Hedgehog, which is another game that Dan talks about all the time. And Mario and Zelda and all that kind of stuff. And if you play those games, you'll become enlightened. If you actually pay attention, if you're like, these are boring because there's no killing in it, guess what you just did? You stepped into what we call Satan's realm. And you are Satan. And you are God. Because you can choose to do both. You got to talk louder if you want to be on here.
I was going to say, if they really need to get into that, there is killing in the games. But it's for a reason.
Yeah.
It's meaningful, like, to save the world kind of thing.
Listen, Mario not only eats the mushroom to grow big as vegetables, he also stomps on the mushroom, who sacrifices his life to make Mario's life more adventurous. Think about what that symbolization means. People always talk about the red mushroom, the Curpulus, but I know it's something like that. I don't even know the names of the mushrooms because I don't study that stuff, but I can see them, but I can't pronounce it, so I don't even want to try it. Corpus, it's Corpus cosa, and there's one that's got it's like a dick name. I don't know why, but it sounds like a dick. It looks like a dick. I don't know if there's a mushroom that looks like a dick or it's a big mushroom. I don't know. I never studied it. I don't know, but I know those are the ones that other people are supposed to take because I've seen it as shaman. It's not Dan. As the same way that I've seen why Jim Carrey had his experience and why the number 23 was the movie he played. Those are all things that are spiritual. And he didn't know they were spiritual. He thought it was horror. 23 isn't horror. It's just the way out of one life into the next. W is the removal of things. X is where X marks the spot where you come in and where you go out. Because you go out as one, and you come in as another. X marks the spot, or exit. Okay? You exit. Energy, X. Identity, plus. Hey, but then you also nexus. Nature identity. X. Odus. Does anyone get this? I do, because I wrote it in every Bible. I wrote it in every teaching. I wrote it in everything. And Dan Alexander has to teach this with me and him looking like a crazy loon in front of his own family members. And he does this in front of his own family members. His son's right here listening. And I don't want to look like a crazy loon in front of the only person in my family who takes me seriously, loves me, and knows it to be true. And because he knows it to be true, he's going to end up crying and being hurt when people see him knowing that this is the truth. And even the government be like, listen to this guy talking about mushrooms on Mario. No, because the guy who created it, what did he use? His creativity. Not because he used mushrooms. He may have, whatever. I'm not going to discuss other people's personal lives. I know them. I know what everyone looks like naked. I know who you've killed. I know who you've hurt. If I'm around you and my heart's open. But therefore, you'd want me to not have my heart open. So I wouldn't want people to know that I can do that stuff, because then people wouldn't want me to meditate. Because in a way, I almost feel like subconsciously my dad and mom try to keep me from meditating because it scares them to know that I'm that close to spirit, because then I'm that close to spirit can kill me, because government does not want people who know what they're doing. Other people who got close to spirit did stuff during their time like inventions, and their inventions could have been revolutionary and saved people pain and struggle, and because it would have saved them pain and struggle, the government killed them. Or else they stole their ideas, gave them to other people who could closet them and market them in a better way that looked maintained. Like light bulb. Let's give that to Edison. He's a genius. Let's call him the greatest genius in the world. And take it from Tesla. And guess what? I was both of them. So I know this to be true. Edison didn't mean to be a dick to Tesla. But Tesla didn't mean to be a dick to people when he said, hey, I know this is real, because I brought it into the world through my mind. I was that. I can do that. I have done that. I made lightning strike right after this experience, and it struck the building that I delivered to, right behind it. Okay, Conneautville, Dollar General. I was fucking around at Walmart the day that I had my Walmart experience. I have it on recording. So you see that lightning? I'm doing that. Watch, I'm going to do it right now in the next 3 seconds. It's like it's recorded on YouTube. It's called After My Walmart Experience. It's on there. You don't even have to. It's not. It's unlocked. So it's on my Walmart experience. It's on my original site. It's not on Dan Alexander or The Great Experience. It's the one that I had when I first started YouTube. I don't know how to find it. Just type that in. After the Walmart Experience. Backlash of the Walmart Experience. Either way. I have to take a drink. And I'm going to keep recording. Can you open it, please? Well, the Backlash of the Walmart Experience, I made lightning strike. And this is me confessing something that, I'll take the blame for it. And if you believe me, come arrest me. I didn't do it on purpose because I love these people. I was working at Dollar General Conneautville, and they were the most rude people. They didn't even move because they felt me. Usually those fucking geese run. And they just looked at me. A whole group of geese just looked at us and put their heads up like, yo, that's the dude. He knows what he's talking about. Clouds right there. No big deal. But no, I don't want to get in that zone because it takes me away from what's important. See, I can astonish people. But don't worry about it. Because that's taking me out of me. I don't want to mess around. See, that's me being like, oh, your dad set up a little thing for yourself to get distracted on the 8th dimension. His thoughts of your thoughts of your thoughts of his thoughts, and you analyzing it. Don't do that. Stay here and tell what the truth is. Don't go out there. Head out of the clouds. That's one of those memories that yesterday I told Xavier there's a few sayings that I've told myself in other dimensions, and like Xavier's higher self reminded me of something that we told ourselves in other dimensions, other lives, other places in time. Like the saying, don't keep your head in the clouds or keep your head out of the clouds is the saying, but it's not that. It's more like keep your head out of the clouds, but from time to time realize that they need to go there to find new adventures. Just they have to be there. They have to imagine. They have to create. I said it better yesterday because I remembered it, but today I'm trying to remember it in my Dan mind. And if when I get to it, it'll just come out and I'll say it normal, so that's fine. But there's certain things that I have to remember to do. Is that to not distract myself on purpose, to cause myself to, like how I said my mom and dad subconsciously distract me because they're afraid that my truth will get out and the government will come and get me, because they have gotten people and people know that. I have more than those people have got, because I can actually go into the life of the person who's invented the water mill and the corn mill and the garbage can that runs gas. I can do that. I know how electricity works, but it doesn't matter because other people do. It doesn't matter. They cannot provide that for free. That's the point. None of it costs anything. So they have to do is remove the idea that it costs money. Or they could teach each person how to do it. And that causes people the chance of electrocuting themselves. Instead, we have people that know how to run it that can do it for free. It is free already. When people say, how do we get free energy? Oh, we stopped charging for it. Wow, that was tough. Wow. Oh, how do we have free food? Oh, we stopped charging for it. Oh, wow, that's crazy. How do we give free health care? Oh, wait, we stopped charging for it. Wow! And the biggest one of them all. How do we let people have their own spiritual growth and not have people learn from a system that was given down to them by people that learned from stuff they didn't understand in a school or a place we call arithmetic, science, math, that kind of stuff? We have to learn something. But how do we do that without charging people for it when it's wrong in the first place? Oh, here we go. This is a little longer of an answer, so. We stop charging them for it, and we let them live their own lives, and we accept them for it. We don't say, hey, that's wrong, because we learn different. There's learn. Where did learn come from? You had to start from somewhere first. As a little lad, it's an L.A. Let's think of things that are L.A. L.A. and early. You land on here. You land on Earth. And you're just this little baby. You're a lad. You're a lass. You're starting. Someone tells you something. Is that wrong or right? If you could decide from the very beginning, no, I don't agree with that. I do agree with that. If you had that from the very beginning, how different would your life be? Kids never got that. Let's do that. Is that hard? I don't think so. It doesn't mean once they get to the point where they're playing video games and killing stuff, be like, hey, can you please stop? And they go, no, I don't want to. I like that. Okay. You're allowed to do that. Because they wouldn't have got to that point if their heart would have been open the whole time from the very beginning. People understand what the very beginning means. The time the baby's born, stay in the room with it until it goes. Don't let the doctors do anything to your children with you not there. Don't give them vaccines. Don't sterilize them. Don't do anything the doctors say. A doctor dictates. A dictator is less than a doctor. If you dictate yourself, you are Da. I am Dan. I dictate myself. Okay? I am Dan, and my deeds are dictated by me. A doctor is fourth tense vowel. Okay? You may not get this, but this is true. A doctor is someone outside yourself who dictates your energy reoccurrence. So it's D, domain, outside, C, character. It's outside your character, and it's a character outside yourself. Yes. Adds to your energy reoccurring. And the adding to is called the diagnosis. Idea, an idea is the example of who you fucking are. The dia isn't a dia or a dio or a dia or a daisy. Those are all presentations of life. A daisy is a flower of life, and it looks just like the sun. That's why it's a dia. Get it? The Dias Springs is a place right here in Erie. It's a brake company because it's part of that thing in the mechanical world. That's our pie. You know, everything shows up somewhere, as above, so below, to the infinite extent. And then it'll go into names, and it'll spread out from that name, and from that name it'll go into every dimension. So I don't want to go too far, but there's so much to say, so I could literally talk forever. That's why I was telling Xavier, I just want to get like a thing and sort of just talk. Get on stage, and if people have a question, ask me. Like, I used to be worried that I'd have to I don't know, take some acid or do some drugs or something like that so I could stay in that state. And what's weird is I feel like I might have to take it to get out of this state. I think that my normal everyday, this is still my normal everyday life, correct, Xavier? Like, we went to sleep last night. We went and we put the things back from my job. We put the returns there, yeah. I'm only saying this like I do know that I'm aware of this, okay? We talked about Bullet yesterday, and there's Bullet just sitting there. Bullet. Weird. Because it gets you places. It doesn't always mean it has to shoot and kill. Bullet doesn't mean it has to be there. You can have a bullet point. You can have a bullet pin. Anyway, I'm just going to leave it at that. Boiling point is where something reaches its peak. A bullet is just something where something is right here, right now, solidified in bullet form. Tense. It's dense tense. Dense is a D. It's right here solid. Tense is a T. It's not right here, but it's intention. I shouldn't have to mention, take a step back for apprehension. There's 4 dimensions right there, and the 5th dimension is the one we're in right now. I'm in the 5th dimension, the 4th dimension, and the 3rd dimension with everyone else who's just in the 3rd dimension. Looking at 2-dimensional beings on a 1-dimensional surface, that is Definity, which we could say is the 0 dimension, or the void. I just explained so much to you. If you want to listen to this tape and actually just let it enlighten you, instead of being like, but that's not what I heard in this book. That's not what I heard in this book. My mom could listen to this. My grandma could listen to this. I'm sorry, Grandma, you're not alive. I mean anyone's grandma. My son's mother could listen to this recording and be like, well, listen to it 5 times, Mom. Just promise me you'll do that before you think that's crazy. And listen to it. Think about your life. Think about your name being J-E, his name being D-A, and then yours going, J-E-N-N, and then J-L-N-N, and going the opposite direction. And if you just move around the world with J-A and J-E being names of God.
J-E-N-N, J-A-R-R.
J-A-R-R, J-E-N. There you see. Ja, Jen. I have that written down. So you got to see that's where Jared comes into play. And that's where Jazzy comes into play. Even though, how would someone get the name Jazzy? Because we named her Jasmine. That would have a Y in it or a Z in it so that we could use it as a slang name. And we did. And we didn't do it on purpose. But I did that in a divine place way before I became Dan Alexander. And if people that know me can hear what I'm saying, they know my daughter Jasmine. They know I was married to someone named Jennifer that abbreviates it with 2 N's. And I was married to a guy named Jen. And I have an Oliver and a Xavier that are opposite names. And I have a Brianna and a brother named Brian. And it goes on and on and on out throughout time. My mom had a sister who was really skinny and whatever, and my brother who was really skinny, and then he got himself in shape, and he became a foresting person, and he married someone named Laura. My mom's brother, she lived in the woods, and her family is like a woods family. Her sister died, named Laura, and now my son, her firstborn, marries a woman named Laura. I mean, that's all coincidence, people say. When we hear these things, nothing is a coincidence, when that is the truth. The words are the truth. So if you lie, and you say that lie is the truth, guess what? That word is just a fucking word. So every lie you say is the truth, because lies come true. The world is what lies ahead. I'm trying to explain it to you in the most accurate way you've ever fucking heard it. And that's why I'm over-enunciating. What lies ahead? God is the Word. The Word is God. You speak words. You lie. When you lie, what lies ahead becomes what is ahead. Stop lying. Start telling the truth. And the truth will lie ahead. Dan is telling the truth. Do you want him to tell you the truth? Because if he tells you the truth, you don't believe it. You will cause damnation. Armageddon. Do you want him to tell you about Armageddon? Because he can and he will create it. But if he doesn't and you don't believe it, then he creates it. Because he believes he can stop it from happening by telling you about it. If he tells you about it and you don't believe him, he's starting it to happen. Does that make sense? Like, I am that powerful, so I have to watch what I say to people. When I do little things, I talk about little words, they show up everywhere. This is a big thing, and I know I can nullify my own words. You can transmutate. I transmutate food in my body. And you are right here, just please say yes after this, not right now. But since October, when my route went over on 812.3, on 812, which also adds up to 11, 812 is 12. So we got all the crazy weird numbers in those equations that can't be broken into other things. It's just weird. But in that day, I got a route that went over to snacks. So from that day on, for about 6 months, I allowed myself to eat whatever, because I figured, hey, I'm going to be around, I might as well. I'm going to have to see if I can stay in shape. And I said, you know what, I'll cut back on really eating anything else, much besides, like, maybe 1 meal a day. And it actually went down to 1 meal every couple of days, and twice a week, and then once a week, and then fasting. And all I would eat was a snack or something. And instead of a meal, I'd have a donut, or like 2 Danishes in a bear claw, or what are they called, cinnamon roll, for 6 months. I mean, you may not have seen it, but that's all I did. You see the snack wrappers that I've had? And I didn't want to admit that I eat the junk food. But after a while, I told you about that. I got all these boxes, and you've seen the boxes of wrappers and bags, haven't you seen them? Did you wonder where those came from? Did you ever think, damn, Dad eats a lot of snacks? Did you ever think that? I wondered that. But did you think, well, he just eats snacks, so he can eat whatever he wants because it's Dad? But I didn't know if you thought that. Or I think a normal person would be like, damn, dude, you eat a lot of snacks. You know what I mean? There's quite a bit of wrappers. I don't know if you realize how many there were.
Quite a bit, but you work out all the time. So.
I do. I work. What he said is, I work out all the time when I work all the time, which I do. I make sure I do at least 100 push-ups a day, which doesn't. It's tiny. It seems like nothing to me. But sometimes I do 300 or 400 or 500. But anyway, so I did an experiment to see if I would gain weight over the winter when I eat pies and cakes and snacks and sweets and chocolates. I cut back, of course, but I still allowed myself to eat those things only. Not really much healthy stuff. The only things that I had was broccoli, asparagus, and cauliflower. And was the other one of the things? Spinach. Like, I really didn't eat many salads. I didn't eat anything. A scoop of green beans or something here and there. A scoop of that they had noodles or something here and there. Very few times, like once or twice a week, a pizza with the kids, with vegetables only on it. In those days, I actually feel myself get a little more disconnected because my body secretes more to fight that stuff that goes in my body. And because I feel that, I see it. And I know that I live off of air and light. Everyone does. You just don't think you do. And the memories that go in your body don't think you do because they never put any thought into the fact that you live off of air and water and light. You can even take water out of the situation because light goes to the air, so you at least have to have something there. And water goes to the air, so you can use one or the other. You can use breath or you can use water, or you can use both. Water can give you something if you want to weigh yourself down, and then you can use it to get warm and fly. You can fly when you control water. You're not just a water bender, you are fucking water. Your body right now is a water bender. Fuck this. Your water right now is a water bender. Lights don't stop me. Fuck green lights and red lights. I am fucking green lights and red lights. I couldn't stop. When I'm in a car like this, I can't stop. And if they don't like it, too bad. It's not. So, anyway, back to what I was saying. Earth World just popped in. It does those things to distract me, to take me out of it. See, I don't want to go back because I want to talk. I need to record. Like, you should be recording me, but not with a camera on my face because that puts me on the spot. And I don't want you to stand here with the thing holding it because that makes me feel like an idiot. But everything that I have, all those months of recordings are this. But not talking to anybody, just talking about the truth. I'm only talking about this now because I need someone to do this. If it's not my son, I need somebody that takes me fucking seriously. Or I will die. I don't want this anymore if somebody doesn't want to take me seriously. I'm giving up on my parents. I'm giving up on my dad. And I'm not going to give up my kids. I'm just looking for someone to take me seriously. And let's do something to change the fucking world. I'm aiming this towards David Stover. I'm aiming this towards Terry, whatever his last name is. Everybody at Bimbo, Allen, whatever, Plasted. Your name is that because you have all the... I'm not even going to say it because you'll think... I make a joke out of it. Because people don't understand who they are. I know who everybody is, and I can tell you who you are from where you came, from all the lives you've gone through. Because I got the gift of seeing it all. You will too. The thing is, even the stuff I'm saying now, when I get conceited and cocky, I said this before. Because I know this. I know that I've seen it all, and I'm the only one who has so far. And that sounds really conceited and cocky. But it's true. Because I'm the only one who can teach it without distorting it. And me saying this is brave and bold because it's goddamn true. I wouldn't say it. If I said it and it wasn't, I would hurt. I can't lie.
If you seen it all, you would know that. You're the only one who's seen it all.
Yes, and honestly, when you spend enough time around me and hear some of the stuff I'm saying, you'd be like, well, it's weird that you know that, and it does make sense, but maybe you just came up with it. And I'm like, no one has ever talked about this. Your whole life, however old you are, all the letters you've ever seen, all the numbers you've ever looked at, every name, everything, every sign, everything you've ever looked at. I created it. And it's showing up in your life, comprehending and making sense. And I can take those things and show you what I meant when I created them. You can put them in any incorporated word, any language, any country, any state of being, any atmospheric thing, any planet, and it's true. So I'm sorry that you think it's a coincidence. It's just you're that stupid. I mean, stupid! I don't mean to say it like that, but stupid. I I love my parents, and that's why I say it like that, because my parents are stupid. And it's only because it's so much deeper than they understand, they can't identify with it. Not because they're choosing to ignore it and not identify with it. There's a difference. They're not making a stand and not identifying with it. They seem to be doing that. Well, they are. They are making a stand. They stoop right where they are and they say, I don't identify with that. Then they put one knee down, they stoop, they cross their arms and say, I will not identify with that. That's the STOOPID. But we spell it the same way because it looks silly. But there is people that spell it that way. And then there's the stupid, which it's so low you don't understand it. It's so deep. And at the same time, because it's so deep, my parents put up a front. My parents are the meeting of that. We are that divine family. My parents are the exact thing. My dad will put up a stand and not agree, even though it makes sense to him. My mom will agree, support, not be against, but still take the side of the person who will not. That's the highest and the farthest away you can get, besides agree and disagree. She agrees, but can't do anything about it. My dad disagrees, but still will not go with it. That's the weirdest thing. My dad has to know that killing is wrong, but in his day and age, it was very easy to agree to go kill somebody, and it seemed right, even though you knew it was wrong. So that's the first level out. You have to know that's wrong, so how dare you go do it? Because someone told me to, and I was afraid of the repercussions that my country would have gave me. Sorry, country, but I gotta point out your flaws just right in my dad. Sorry, you were abused. You couldn't come to anybody, because when you come to somebody for help, they ignore you. Or they give you some money and say, go to this place. Suck it up. And give you a pill and say, you'll be better, okay? That's the world we're in now. We'll leave that out. Instead, we'll send you off to war to handle our problems, because that country doesn't agree with our ideas. So since they don't agree with our ideas, we'll send our pawns, which are people we own, because we make more money than them, against their pawns, who are people they own, make as much money as them, and some that love that country and support and believe in them, along with some of ours that support our country and support and believe in what we say, which there are way less than people who were forced to go. Because when you add the determination fact of, you gotta kill the other guy, people say, I don't believe in my opinion that much to kill that guy. And I can't believe that there's a line that gets crossed, just like my dad and my mom would help me. And my dad loves me and wants to help me physically, but won't metaphysically. My mom would metaphysically, but can't because of my dad. That's the closest you can get. My dad voluntarily killed, but didn't want to. That was as close as you can get to doing it, and being accepting of it. And it's eating away at him the rest of his life. And it always will. Because he voluntarily killed and didn't have to, but felt like he had to. I lived that border. I've always been on that border. I was the energy in Vietnam. What? I was flying. Oh. When I get excited, I fly. I'm energy. I am nothing but energy, man. Like the sun is hotter now. Like I had to turn that down. I'm like getting more. I put it up because I want to hear myself on the tape. It goes. You can't hear that. You gotta put that up. It's sweaty. You can take your shirt off if you have to. I don't know. I'm going to take mine off, but then they move around while I'm recording. My mouth is so dry, and I keep having to. I can't. Yeah, I just stop and breathe. Just sing. Agresti. Look, Agresti is a real estate. Agresti. I started recording because I wanted to say this. Good. Thank you, Agresti and Rick Allgaier. Rick Allgaier, Green Township Elementary School. GTES. Green Township Elementary School. Wattsburg Area Middle School. WAMS. Or just WMS, because that's what they would say. And then SHS. Seneca High School. Turned into Wattsburg Area High School, but not until I moved, because the other ones were just moving up the class below me. Makes a lot of sense now to me why I was the one in my class that kept changing. One of that class was changing, not the rest. The others were still in the regular world. One in that class was changing every time, and it was me. So anyway, and I only say that because I know everything else that follows. I'm not saying it because I'm just bullshitting to try to sound cool. It doesn't sound cool to me. It sounds true, and true isn't cool. True is fucking kooky. I'm fucking kooky. Dan Alexander's a kooky motherfucker. When you look into history after my body dies, you'll be like, that dude got kooky all of a sudden. Because if you looked at me from a human perspective, I'm a kooky motherfucker. and I'm flying 65 past the church. I don't mean it. I'm a cookie motherfucker. Let's fly. I just slowed down and I started saying, damn, I was a cookie motherfucker. But I am. Because I know the truth. And that's crazy. That house was built the other day, and those people stole from us, and now their house is crumbled. That's funny. Me and Eric, we went there one time, and like, it's a long story. I don't want to go and conceal some stuff on that recording. But I just want to say, Cree is creative. K-R-E is Cree, the creator from beyond. Gree could also be that, because that's G along with an R, along with sort of an L moving out. Glue, sticking it together. Gree is moving it forward. Gree is like that line moving forward into the, like that little line off the G to that little top of the R is all an R is by itself. But I never go that fast, ever. I always drive slow. I'm thinking I'm using my energy to call up stuff. You know, I have to sit still. There's a lot of energy. Look at how much I'm spitting. Look how much I'm talking. Look, I'm using a lot of energy right now. I get worn out because I get worn out using so much mental energy. I have energy going through me in ways people don't. I really do. I'm burning like the sun right now. I'm like, and I turn that off, and I'm going to turn this down. I don't want to have that on. If I open my window, it goes. But anyway, Cree, agree, because somebody else generated what you're going to what you're going to agree with. When you agree with somebody else, they created it. Which G is a circle with the J coming off of it, and you get to joke from it, or you get to join what they generated. That makes a lot of sense now if I use those words the right way. G is ongoing junction from the J to the G. It's ongoing. If you want to join, you have J-O to the G. Join the group. You want to join something that's reoccurring, you join the group. You join and go if you just want to join. If you want to be in front. I'm sorry, dude. We're going to a place where I can park, so we're pointing it out. No one's going to pull me over. I'm not going to be stopped from this point forward unless people stop me and keep trying to. Clean the truck today. We're cleaning the truck today. So, Cree, I can't even like make them say a message because I speed too fast driving. I don't want to park at my parents' house because I get interrupted by just being there. I can't be there because I don't feel welcome anymore. I don't feel welcome to be myself. And if I say that, they're like, oh, you do? I'm like, well, what do you want to talk about? Oh, let's watch the news. The news is unreal, Mom. Why would you sit and watch a lie any moment of your life? Any. Literally. TV itself is a fucking made-up thing. If you've watched something and you know it has a message for you, then watch it. If you have a feeling you should see something, then watch it. Don't waste your time watching porn. It's going to give you stupid ideas to create for the I that is you. And if you get that, you'll see what the hell it's always meant. I am the most truthful person there's ever fucking been. And no one takes me seriously. I did this when I was young, and I freaked out, and then I was psycho. This is how I talk. Nobody fucking listens to me. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I see the fucking end. I was the devil, and now I'm here to save the world. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. You fucking people are gonna die if you don't listen to me. And that's the kind of shit I said. And I lost my girlfriend. My whole world fell apart. I saw my car catch on fire and blow up. The pictures were talking to me. It was in my head. But it was happening in my world. And when I got around people, everything that was happening in my world kept happening. So therefore, that means that even around other people, those things were happening. When other people weren't around, crazier things were happening because I didn't need their primary or secondary belief system to agree with mine. I didn't know that then, so it blew me away. I would say there's secondary, there's primary, and then there's Akashic belief. There's that root thing that's there, the zero. The negative one that is before the zero. Negative one is the first. I mean, then we go negative 2, negative 3, then we go, what happened there? That's going back before BC. We would say BC and AD. Why is that mean? It's like A, B, C, D. Just if you spin that around in a circle, it means one thing. It means that came from there. There's no before or after, no AD or BC. You're seeing A, B, C, D. Do it like that and see that it's just a revolving idea that we've been thinking over and over in circles, and it's supposed to indicate that. Simply that. Around and around in circles. If people don't see that, like, that makes a lot of sense, but because I pointed the W and the A and the V upside down on chips today, that may have lightened the idea because it's something so normal. Something we see all the time, but as we walked back, I looked at it. It was WAVYs. Wavies. I went away. On the way back, my heart opened because I thought to myself, I don't want to do this every day. This is fucking annoying. And I'm like, dude, just be here in the moment. Remember? Everyone needs you. Every moment needs you. And this guy that's talking this moment, that sees the light the way I see it right now, was not here this morning. When I first got there, you saw that. I wasn't there. He even said I was less passionate. And the reason I got a little offended then is because I had already got it back by then. Because my heart opened in the store. I thought to myself, like, these people need me, and I'm getting freaked out because I have to check the numbers on a little tag. At the same time, it's so minuscule, it makes me feel so stupid that I have to waste my time doing that. But at the same time, if I think that's a waste, then helping the sickest, feeblest person would be a waste to a businessman. And I have to realize that it's not. Every smallest crevice, every biggest detail. And it goes that far, and I have to know that. I do know that. But my heart gets in the way when I go, Dan Alexander, fucking picking up some old English muffins. This is ridiculous. This is fucking stupid. And I get angry. And it takes me out of the moment so much that I forget that there's someone right there going through the same life that I'm going through. No different. Maybe they're putting up some coffee filters, or maybe they're putting up their appliance in the appliance section. But either way, they're going through life just like I am. No different. Different points of reference. That's it. American pie? Fuck the American pie. I don't want a slice of the pie that says, hey, get a whole bunch of shit and make other people look stupid. I'd rather cure people. Give them the piece of the world pie. I'll give them the whole pie. I'll give them the whole fucking recipe. That's why I wrote a song called The Recipe. Because I know the truth. That song itself is just to say, hey man, we make fun of shit and we talk about shit, but don't take it so seriously. That's why I even say, if you get so apprehensive, I'll beat your asses senseless. Because there's no point, man. It's just us learning a message. And at that point, Psycho was the dirty side. It said, dude, you guys gotta fucking lighten up. And I said some shit and then that makes a lot of sense now. I said the dirty stuff because it needed to be said. And now I can look at the dirty stuff that I said then and edit it and be like, that's where I was wrong. This is where I need to improve.
That song is a really good song. It's like,
they're all good.
Do something, and then they get, and then you're like, now if you get offended, then you're being over dramatic.
Yeah, it's you getting offended.
Yeah.
You can watch a horror movie and you don't get offended. But if you hear me say, beat your asses senseless, like, but I just watched Saw. Were you offended by that? No. They weren't singing it. Look how dumb you people are. Alright, I bet you this is 40 minutes long or so I gotta stop recording. Oh wow.
How long is it?
37:03.